Hi there, this is Ben Shaw for Focus Camera, and today we're going to talk about depth of field. So most amateur photographers today who don't know anything about the art of photography put their cameras on automatic, which eliminates the opportunity to manually produce the images you want. By using the manual capabilities of your camera, we can get the soft focus, otherwise known as depth of field, otherwise known as bokeh. So to achieve a shallow depth of field, we need to look at lenses that have minimum apertures. It's going to allow you to get an incredibly sharp focus, let's say on the eye, but the ear will be out of focus. This particular lens goes down to 1.4. So the lower the number, the greater degree of distortion, depth of field, we're able to achieve. Remember, you have to use your camera in manual mode to achieve this. You cannot do it in program in any way, shape or form. So auto and program are verboten in regards to depth of field. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then the best suggestion is take a lot of pictures, play with your camera, work out what it is that it's doing to achieve what it is that you want. I like to use the face as an example because with regards to what I'm talking about, you can actually focus only on the eyelashes and you can put the tip of the nose out of focus. That's less than an inch, but it gives you a great degree of creative control. So regarding the range of depth of field, whilst we can talk about the lowest end of the scale, which is this incredibly fine area of focus. If you're a published photographer or you're doing something for somebody else, you probably don't want to go below 2.8 on your aperture scale, given that about 5.6 or 8 is a pretty standard focus. It just gives you the opportunity, as you'll see in the examples, to eliminate the background, which brings detail into the focal area of the frame. When we talk about zoom lenses, they have a range of different focal abilities. They also have a range of aperture abilities. When you zoom a zoom focus lens in, it will change how much of it can be shot at a particular aperture size. We will discuss aperture size, speed, and focal length in another moment. But if you were to focus in, to zoom in on a subject, using an f-stop of 2.8, you would find that all of your subject is then held at that aperture. Everything beyond it will be out of focus. Everything before it will be out of focus. So if you look at the shot that I'm on now, it gives us a chance to focus on one of these vertical posts while making the others out of focus. That's depth of field. Depending on the environment that you're shooting, you can achieve a degree of focus in a three-dimensional environment. If you were to photograph somebody against a background, such as the wall on my right, you will have to draw the subject away from that wall in order to achieve something that becomes noticeable. In the case of maybe a textured surface, it's going to work well. But in the case of like a seamless background or a nondescript wall, you won't notice that length of focus. So it's important to be able to separate your subject from the background or ultimately from the landscape in which they are. In the case of using aperture to its effect in a landscape environment, so perhaps taking somebody's portrait while they sit on the mountaintop amongst a mountain range. You can shoot that person at f11 because that next mountaintop is actually still going to be so far away as to achieve a softer focus on them. So as you will experiment with your cameras and work in manual mode, don't forget, every time you adjust one aspect of the three, you have to adjust the other two. Everything has to be balanced so that your exposure is exactly as you want it. The camera as I say, in manual mode is at your mercy. You will never achieve any of what I've just discussed if you shoot program or automatic. You just will not. The fundamentals of a low depth of field, i.e. bokeh, are aperture, shutter speed, and ISO speed. You need to learn by playing with the range of what your camera will do to achieve the images which I will provide to go with this video. That's me, Ben Schulz, signing out for Focus Camera, and see you next time. And visit focuscamera.com